Recently, the use of lecturing system in universities is being questioned for its efficiency. The dilemma is that should lecturing system in university be replaced with small classes? Small classes, as described by David Daniels in his article, College Lectures, Is Anybody Listening?, emphasize on having lesser students in a class. This encourages more interaction between lecturer and students, aiming to build active learners and to enable lecturers to be sure of the progress of their students. He also stated that students now are lacking of listening skills, meaning that lecturing system is no longer effective for them, showing the need of change to a small classes system in educating students. Lecturing system, on the other hand, is a traditional way of teaching used in tertiary studies. Hence, here comes the question: lecturing system or small classes? Which one are the best teaching method? Based on our topic, we have invited some guests to tell us more on our pleasure. Let me introduce myself. I am Nurul Izzah, and with me are my fellow friends Izzah Athirah, Zahirah Nur, and Nurul Aqilah. Without further ado, let us start the forum now.
Thank you, Izzah, for giving us opportunity to discuss about this topic. I am Izzah Athirah. Let me start the forum by stating my point of view. From my opinion, I support lecturing system because it emphasizes on learning instead of teaching. In this learning method, the students become more active in class because they involve in discussion over the topic that they learn. Discussion method emphasize pupil activity in the form of discussion rather than simply telling and lecturing by the teacher. Thus, this method is more effective. In this method, everybody participate in this discussion and therefore thinks and expresses themselves. Even Donald Finkel, the author of my favorite book about college pedagogy, teaching with your mouth shut, would not say that teachers ought never to talk. Lecturing probably has some role to play when the goal is just to transmit knowledge. At least when the knowledge cannot be discovered or simply read by the student, it may even have a role, though a far more limited one, when the goal is to help the student to understand the ideas. During whole class meeting, lectures are only occasionally and briefly to frame the interactive activities where the learning happens. For example, offer deep questions for students that they can think about silently for a moment, or discuss for a few moments in pair or small group and reflect on writing. The point is to create opportunity for students to be actively involved. Education is not an affair of telling and being told, but an active constructive process. John Dewey emphasized, and yet to open, the doctrine itself merely told. It is preached in its lecture, it is written about. So what your opinion, Zahira?
Thank you for your opinion, Izzah. I am Zahirah. As for me, I need to object with the point since I prefer small classes over lecturing system. For me, it was simpler for students to center and ask straightforwardly their lecturer any inquiries if something appeared to be confounding. Additionally, little classes were the one-on-one meeting. Based on study made by University Language Service, explained in its article, it's simpler for the lecturer to converse with the students separately. Every student will at that point be permitted additional time in the study hall and will permit the lecturer to keep showing a subject with interruption to them or the students. Likewise, it's simpler to increase support and better correspondence among lecturer and student in little classes, as I would like to think since there are numerous individuals to connect with. Maybe perhaps the greater distinction between a large classes and small classes is the sort of collaboration students have with their lecturer. Moreover, based on article 10 Reason to Go to a Small College, published by Jeremy S. Ahmad and Lynn F. Jacob, at small classes, in addition to the fact that students are ready to talk legitimately with lecturer all the more regularly on a one-on-one basis. However, they additionally may likewise have the option to work with lecturer on special activities. At large classes, lecturer may have graduate students to perform research-related errands. However, small classes notwithstanding, lecturers frequently select students to work together on projects. This advantages students by giving additional chances to learning, expanded coaching, and system administration openings. Asking questions is an important part of the learning process and demonstrates active engagement with course material. Meeting among lecturer and student and their peers take into account better comprehension of input which students get from their lecturer and friend on assignments and permits them to all the more likely improve their tasks before the last duplicate must be go into their lecturer.
I can see your opinion, but for me, lectures are efficient. A well-rehearsed lecture can be presented quickly and planned of time to fit in certain schedule. Lecturers can be pre-recorded and recycled. Many teachers record their lecture ahead of time and even show lectures given by the others. Khan Academy videos and TED Talk are examples of common educational lectures available to public. It is time saving, therefore, the lecture can be complete within time. Influential article called by Why Not Try a Scientific Approach to Science Education by Carl Wieman, a Nobel laureate then at the University of British Columbia and now at Stanford, presents some data of his own. And additionally, evidence has been published since his article appeared. Indeed, even when someone tries to show that direct instruction works better than more active and interactive methods, a newer and better study subsequently come along to refute that claim. Perhaps that most thorough review evidence specific to higher education appear in a book by Donald A. Blake called What's the Use of Lecture that was originally published in 1971 and then updated with newer references in 2000. Blake mostly offers advice to instructors for improving their lectures, a key recommendation being never to talk for longer than 20 or 30 minutes at a time. But his first chapter comprised a research review that raises serious doubt about the value of activity, no matter how skillful it's done, particularly if the goal is to promote truth. So, Aqilah, do you agree with my opinion or Zahira opinion?
Hi Izzah, and everybody, thank you for this opportunity. I am feeling so honored to share about small class. Based on the article, Are Smaller Classes Better, written by Christopher Chapson, within the small class, students are easier to understand and concentrate more towards the lecture session. As small classes only have small participation of the students have the whole attention by the lecturers as less distraction from internal and external factors. This situation is similar to personal class, as lecturers have direct interaction and precise attention towards the student, indirectly able to reduce the barrier between educator and the student. For example, within the class only consists of 10 students. The lecturer able to figure out when there are any of the students have less concentration and low understanding to catch up the lesson. Surely the lecturer will take an action and having direct interaction with the student in order to improve the understanding. Moreover, based on the article, smaller class sizes, pros and cons, published by Public School Review, small classes are more effective as lecturers are able to finish the syllabus of the subjects on time as scheduled plan. For example, Aina as the lecturer and today she want to finish all the chapter 6. Then with the effectiveness of the small class, she able to finish it in the provided hours due to students have better understanding and focus in small class. Anya doesn't need to extend the class and able to focus on exercise. This able to reduce the time consumed and lecturer capable to focus towards next plan with efficient. Next, due to less number of students, lecturers will experience less discipline cases from the classes such as late submission of assignment. In addition, within the small class, the effectiveness and productivity of the lecturers and students are increased. Unmistakable, students have higher opportunity to have better grades as the outcome. I believe with this statement, quality over the quantity. What about you, Izzah?
I fully agree with the topic because I believe lecturing system is the best choice for universities in terms of financial. Lecturing system usually uses one hall that can fit about 100 to 150 students at a time, which means that the cost of providing facilities and hiring lecturers could easily be reduced compared to small classes. As Laurie Garrett Hatfield had said in her article, smaller classroom sizes means adding additional teachers and building additional classrooms, and only few have the resources to fund the additional costs. It is also mentioned in the article that according to Kevin Simpson, many experts have argued that it is far better to put an excellent teacher in a large classroom rather than having an ineffective teacher in a reduced size classroom just to fit the smaller class size formula.
Thank you for your opinion, Izzah. I'm sorry, but I'm still with my stand as before. As for me, a major advantage is the small class sizes, where classes in large university can seat 300 students or more students. Small universities usually hold classes of around 50 or 35 students. Despite that, students may also feel intimidated to ask questions and participate in class, simply because they are surrounded by so many other people. According to an article wrote by Jessica Velasco for the Finding the Right Size College, Small, Medium or Large Campus, the result of the study are that small classrooms have the greatest impact in the earlier grades, especially on students. Based on the studies, it makes sense to target funds to reduce class size because one of the benefits of smaller class size is small classes are great for students who enjoy participating in class. Small classes also make it hard for students to stay anonymous because these small classes sometimes require students to speak up and participate. Each class and professor has different ways of determining grades, but it is usually safe to assume smaller classes tend to use participation and attendance, while lecturer classes will not. In fact, these features also can be used when students are in small classes. They are more likely to connect with one another. Striking up conversation before class, discussing assignment after class and forming study group are commonplace where you can share a class with a small group of peers. This connection not only make course more enjoyable, but they can also lighten workloads if students strategically plan to divide and conquer some course tasks like outlining textbook chapters or working on group projects. Connecting with other students can also lead to friendship, which can be a rich part of the college experience. So, what about you, Izzah?
Okay, as I could see, lecturing system is very important for students as a preparation for the future and also to improve their soft skills. Students that are involved with lecturing system are exposed to a large number of people. In the article, Larger Class Sizes Increase Opportunities by Richard Grazier, co-teaching environment can provide students with opportunities to collaborate with more peers, subject matter experts, and other teachers. At the same time, it encourages them to take responsibility for their own learning and acquisition of knowledge, which means each and every student will become very self-directed. Obviously, this would be hard to achieve in smaller classrooms, as there would be limited number of peers to collaborate with, and the students would be very dependent on their lecturers. Self-directed students are able to consume learning that are not provided in the syllabus, ultimately empowering them to own their future and be ready for university, the workplace, and society. In another article by Alison Doyle on the important presentation skills for workplace success, one of the important skills is verbal communication. Specifically, you must know how to answer questions. You should be able to understand questions asked by your audience and provide respectful, honest, and accurate answers without getting off topic. This skill includes active listening, focus, empathy, handling difficult questions, assertiveness, advising, affirmation, and enunciation. I believe that effective verbal communication skills could be acquired in both lecturing system and small classes. However, lecturing systems tend to provide more challenges towards the presenter, as there would be more audiences, which also means more ideas and issues could be discussed. This way, students could prepare themselves for the future and also workplace, where their opinions and knowledge would make a great impact.
Wow, I can feel that our discussion seems to getting intense. However, I still stand with my opinion and agree with Izzah.
Thank you, Izzah. Based on the study Benefits of a Small Class Size, published by CHA Word School, Chatsworth Hills Academy, small class provide chances to students to embrace and enhance themselves by polish their talents. In small class environment, students have better engagement and feel motivated to be themselves, to be true and accept themselves. Then they are free to produce new ideas and present it to the audience without any judgment. Unmistakable, small class have environment with lots of positivity that influence the self-development. Thus, the student will encourage each other and be supportive. Indirectly, this will boost the self-esteem and extends the confidence. Without notice, students will come out with great soft skill and self-development. As example, Ali will be presenting his topic today about dinosaurs. At first, of course, the nervous feeling will come to him. But once he started to present in front of the class, in front of the audience, with the supportive environment from his classmates, automatically his confidence level will be boosted. Thus, Ali will have a great presentation as the output. Unmistakable small class helps in enhancing the presentation skills of Ali. This supported by article Small Class Setting Matters in Higher Education, Benefits of Small Class Size for College, published by City College. Great environment will influence the result of the students such as attitude and soft skill, like communication skill, social skill, decision-making skill, planning skill, and organizational skill. For example, parents surely will send their kids to great atmosphere of school. And most of the kids within small class have great attitude and manner. This is a big contribution towards the self-development of their kids, such as in nurturing great communication skill and other social skill that's important nowadays. What say you guys? What about you guys?
Okay, after I listened to Zahirah Nur and Nurul Aqilah's intake on this matter, I do agree that small classes are better. Furthermore, related to our issue on COVID-19, it is safer to study in small group compared to larger number of people in class per time.
In Izzah's conclusion, we have come to the end of discussion. So thank you for lending your ears. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.